Friday Night Lights means it's time for the final score. Your home for hard hits, big plays, and the Basin's #1 football show. The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
What has felt like the longest off season ever is now officially over. Some of the biggest moments from that season last year, Rankin going to the semifinals, Greenwood as well. But high school football, it's back in the great state of Texas. Ben Peck, Aaron Reynolds, excited to take you on another wild journey here on the Final Score.
Yes, I'm so excited. Now, of course, some of those bigger schools, 5A and 6A, as well as TAPS, are still about a month away from taking the field. Fortunately, we do still have some big-time matchups among these smaller schools.
Absolutely. No 6A, but a massive game in 6-man between Rankin and Balmorhea, two teams that could both, at the same time, end the year with a state championship. They met up tonight at our Game of the Week.
What happened?
All right, Rankin Balmorhea. Now, they played as district rivals last year, the Red Devils, and upset back at Red Devil Stadium to win the district title. So how would this one go? Two top teams, #1 in Division I, Rankin, #1 in Division II, Balmorhea. Preseason, you figure, going to be a lot of offense, right? Well, true to some extent, but you'll see here. This is the big man, the Diesel, going in for the touchdown. Gary Alexander. He needs some G Fuel right there. 8-0 Bears early. After the Bears would get a field goal, Rankin, they would score on special teams. Nicely done, and it's 12-6. Down the left sideline goes Justin Rodriguez. And the next possession, after another Bears touchdown, Braxton Kirkland coughs it up here, recovered by Laurel Mata. Bears in business, we think. Or are they? Bat snap. And all of a sudden, Thomas Contreras falls on it for a safety, 28-8. And there you see Contreras, the heat playing a factor. Would that be an issue? Well, you decide. Contreras, he's a big part of that secondary. Rankin attacking where he is not anymore. Matthew Gonzalez with the touchdown reception makes it 28-14. Rankin still behind. And continuing the onslaught as the second half ends, another safety. They went into the half down 28-24 after that slow start. Rankin. Now let's go closing moments. This is a big play in the fourth quarter. Braxton Kirkland, you saw the fumble early on, but here he gets the stop, and Rankin holds on for a very close game. 38-36. That was fourth and short. 15 seconds left. Big stop for Braxton Kirkland and a big win for the Rankin Red Devils. Jake Eichset was there, and he's got reaction from the coach.
Ben, Aaron, welcome to Balmorhea. Just wrapped up an incredibly exciting 6-man game. A very close win for the Rankin Red Devils. I got their head coach, Garrett Avalos, now. So, Coach, I got to ask, Deshaun Goodley, not on the sideline tonight. Can you please inform our viewers about his status?
Yeah, he's, you know, all I can tell you is he's going to be out. He's out week 1. Nothing bad, but he'll be back very soon, and we're looking forward to having him back. But I just thought our guys did a tremendous job of stepping up and filling some roles, and we needed that as a team. You know, we needed to see some guys step up.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about players stepping up. I mean, you know, to be frank, you guys got punched in the mouth to start the game, but then 26 unanswered points. Talk about those kids who stepped up in that perseverance that they had.
Yeah, so, you know, our backup tailback, he's no stranger to the game. Justin Rodriguez, he's been our tailback for a while, and him and Deshaun split carries most of the year, and then Braxton Kirkland and our line. You know, we made a lot of mistakes early and 4 turnovers in the half, and I just felt like you know, both sides of the ball played really hard, and when you have four turnovers, it's just hard to come back from that. And then, you know, we had a spark on a kickoff return one for a touchdown. I felt like that kind of gave us a little spark going into halftime. So.
And expand a little bit more on fatigue. I mean, we talked a little bit about Braxton Kirkland. I mean, I thought he had 50 tackles tonight, and he's getting carries on the offensive side too, but I mean, multiple times I saw him leaning over, but he never seemed to come out of the game. Talk about his resolve, and as the other players talked about just the fatigue that they were experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, Braxton's a resilient player. He's you know, he's put on about 30 pounds since last season in the weight room, so good pounds. But I think, you know, he's still learning how to carry that weight a little bit. And but he's a kid that never wants to come off the field, and we've got a lot of them like that. You know, they're tough-minded, and we try to coach them to be tough, and I felt like they were tonight. So. And
you know, I know you guys got White Deer next. You know, it's another real tough opponent. Playing ranked 1 team here, play another top 10 ranked team next week. Seems, you know, Red Devils getting no break. But talk about what you're taking away from tonight to that next game.
Yeah, coming in, one thing I was worried about as a coach, not having any scrimmages coming into week 1. I told the guys all week, there's no way we can simulate game speed. We're going to make some mistakes. Just keep fighting, keep digging. So going forward, I think it was great to see that, you know, we could be in a hole and come back, and I thought our defense played great. And so, you know, we were able to get enough stops and just enough scores to end up, you know, pulling out the victory. So.
Coach Avalos, congratulations. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Again, guys, a 38-36, really close game here in Balmorhea. Rankin, a threat to be a game of the week twice in a row. Got White Deer up next. Ben, Aaron, back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Jake. And now that was number 1 in Division 1 against number 1 Division 2. This is number 1 in Division, number 3 in Division 1, number 3 in Division 2, Borden County Division 1, and the Coyotes. A Thursday night game against Calvert and Gordon. Coyotes get the big win, 62-42 to start the year off right.
You know, Ben, we've got a lot of ranked teams here in our area.
A lot of big-time matchups in 6-man.
Yeah, number 13, Garden City visiting number 4, Sterling City. Bearcats upset the Eagles for a district title last year, so let's take it out to Sterling City, taking on the Bearcats. We're going to start off the action. First drive of the game for the Eagles. Francisco Gonzalez gets a toss, bounces it outside, turns the corner, into the end zone, touchdown, Sterling City. Eagles take an early 8-0 lead. Still in the first quarter, Sterling City with the ball once again. Hudson Cox to Coss Johnson, and he finds a chance. Ferguson over the middle. No one's going to catch this guy, so Sterling City makes that 20-0. Still in the first quarter, folks. Later on in that same quarter, Garden City would answer back. John Lopez finds Sterling City would respond, actually. Sebastian Balcazar, nothing but green grass in front of him. 28-8 after that. Taking a look at this final. Sterling City with a big win over the Bearcats there. 74-28.
First win for Sterling City over Garden City since 2014, if I heard that correctly. So a big start there for the Eagles. Believe it or not, even with this show, Aaron, we still don't have nearly enough time to talk about everything we want to. We do like to talk, but we have a solution. Final score overtime, if you haven't seen it, every week on our website, yourbasin.com. We give further analysis on the past week's games, break down the upcoming matchups. We also tell you which game is going to be our game of the week. So check out Final Score Overtime every week on yourbasin.com.
Yeah, more time with us. Now, plenty more on the way, however. Tonight, Greenwood trying to prove itself as a contender once again. Those highlights and much more coming up on the best show in the Basin.
You're watching The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Well, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. It goes without saying we will be seeing quite a few changes this season.
I would say so. Some things a little different on the field, but really the biggest changes, I would say, in the stands for some of the social distancing guidelines. You've got the attendance capped at 15% at a lot of these places.
I had my temperature taken today, actually, out in Fort Stockton. Now, with that cap on attendance, Greenwood getting creative, trying to accommodate as many fans as possible. The Rangers will play their first 2 home games at Grande Stadium in Midland.
The temperature okay so far, Aaron?
Yeah, I think I was good. They let me in.
Good, perfect. Well, there at Grande, they can safely allow, you know, upwards of even 7,000 people or so. So hopefully the plan there for Greenwood, they don't have to turn any fans away from the door. And I certainly hopes that's the case.
All right, we have a big matchup actually out at Grande. We have Estacado taking on the Rangers, a rematch from the regional semifinal. Rangers won that game last year 41-14. So instead of taking out to Greenwood, let's go to Midland. Estacado Matadors taking on the Greenwood Rangers once again. Their only loss, actually, in 2019. Estacado strong on D to start off the game, forcing a 3-and-out on the first drive. Rangers not finding that offensive footing either that they had in the playoffs. Down on the other end, Matadors marched right down the field on their first drive, and they would score that touchdown, 6-0 Estacado. But the Mats are aggressive, going for 2. Dobbins rolling out there to get the score, but a Ranger would end up batting it away. So there you can see it looked like it was going to be a pretty close game, but in the end, Greenwood managed to hold their own and once again secured a victory over Lubbock Estacado. 28-12, your final there on your screen.
You know, they really pulled away in that second half of their playoff game last year as well. Seminole Dumas, this is a rematch from the area round where the Demons won 23-15, so could the Indians get their revenge up in Dumas on that east-west orientation field? First quarter, this handoff goes to Jacob Mayers, and he is galloping into the end zone, dare I say. 7-0 Demons. Still in the first, Spencer Williams, nice fake, and he's going to keep it for himself, and he's going to keep it all 7 for himself. 14-0 Dumas, extending its lead. Now senior kicker Ali Yart, 42 yards right down the middle. It's always a beautiful sight to see when you can see someone just drill a long field goal in high school football. Seminole does get something here in the first half. Blake Flowers chucks it deep, and that is going to result in the touchdown. 17-7, Indians on the board. But Dumas, they would go to the air and answer right back, and they would go on to win this game convincingly over the Indians, 48-8, the final.
And then another fun matchup. Andrews Mustangs visiting Leveland Lobos, originally set to face Lubbock Cooper. 3 wins over the Lobos the last 3 seasons. So a late change to the schedule for Andrews. Mustangs coming off a really good 2019 season, of course. First quarter, Lucas Esparza taking the pitch and punches it in. Look at those moves there. Oh, yeah. I love it. Just like what Ben loves to see. He loves the band. Later on, handoff, nice fake, by the way. Lobos to the house on this big run. There he goes. Leveland gonna respond. Then later on, Andrews near the end zone here. Gonna have a pass out to Luke Armendariz from EJ Lopez, replacing the great Brett Leach.
One and only.
Mustangs take care of the Lobos in this one, 56-47. So a pretty close game nonetheless, but Andrews gonna extend that to 4 seasons.
Absolutely. All right, now a Thursday game, Fredericksburg and Monahans. We have these highlights on yourbasin.com. Fredericksburg 55-20 in the first game of the season.
All right, and like I mentioned, the area where I got my temperature taken, Alpine taking on Fort Stockton, an exciting game for the Panthers, a late addition to the schedule. Panthers 2 wins over the Bucks in the last 2 years. So, once again, Panthers hosting the Fightin' Bucks. Here are the Fightin' Bucks at the 1, halfway through the second. Handoff to Oscar Velasquez there for the first score of the game, 6-0 Alpine. Bucks decide to get a little risky. They go for 2. Quarterback Jaden Canaba takes it in nice and easy for the Fightin' Bucks. That would put them up 8-0. We're going to skip ahead. Panthers get the ball in the 23 late in the half, which would result in this. Dominic Aguilar to Jaylee Ibarra, 8-6 Fort Stockton, and they're going to decide to do the same thing. 21 seconds left in the half. They're going to try to go for 2 as well. So let's see if they get it. But nope, Alpine's going to get the stop, which would push us 8-6 going into halftime. Fort Stockton managed to make a bit of a comeback here in the second half, winning this one 19-15, a close battle between the Fightin' Bucks and the Panthers.
Yeah, I think those are going to be some pretty good teams. All right, Big Spring hosting Vernon. The Steers looking for their first season opening win since 2014. Keep that in mind. How cool is this? Before the game, members of the 1956 Teen Band Cheer Squad, they were on hand. That was the first year they opened Memorial Stadium there 54 years ago in Big Spring. Very neat touch from the Steers. Opening drive of the game, Gabriel Baeza. Pass complete to Keegan Mitchell. Ball comes out, though. Lions jump on it. Later first quarter, though, it's the Steers' turn to force a fumble. Cause some chaos. Braxton Pearson strips it. Devin Manning pounces on it. Big Spring taking over. Get them horns up. Ensuing drive, making the most of it as well. Orlando Sanchez coming right down the sideline. Nicely done. Then this was a 4th and 10, still scoreless in this first quarter. Baeza to Mitchell, goes up and gets a touchdown, steers. And would they get that season opening win? Yes, they would. 36-14, big win over Vernon.
Yeah, nice start for Big Spring. And over in Kermit, the Yellow Jackets were planning to kick off their season tonight against McCamey. That game canceled just last evening, however. Kermit ISD announcing one of its students has tested positive for COVID-19. Head football coach Bubba Ross says the decision to cancel the game is one way the school is trying to play it safe. The Yellow Jackets are scheduled to have an open date next week.
And we certainly, of course, wish the best for the student in his recovery. Hope he gets well soon, he or she. All right, LAMESA and San Angelo Lakeview down in San Angelo. Let's get to it. This was a rematch of a game. The past few years they've played each other, San Angelo Lakeview and LAMESA. And this was all Lakeview in the first quarter. After a LAMESA fumble, Albert Rodriguez, showing off the cannon, had a big game against the Golden Tours last year, finds Tristan Franklin down the sideline, 7-0. Chiefs on the board first. Next possession, LAMESA, they turn it over on downs. Lakeview on the goal line, Rodriguez, and he's in for 6. Early 14-0 lead for the Chiefs. Later on in the second quarter, trying to keep it going, add some more. Rodriguez surveying the field, and there he goes. He's going to take it, but whoo! How about them breaks? He's putting the stopping on a dime right there. 2 plays later to Franklin again for the touchdown, and LAMESA comes up short in this one, playing under a first-year head coach. The Golden Tours fall to the Chiefs 35-8, the final.
Now also, San Angelo School. San Angelo Grape Creek visiting Stanton. I love these non-district matchups because they're always interesting teams. Stanton Buffaloes
I like
hosting.
Grape Creek.
I know, Grape Creek. It's kind of fun to say. The Eagles. That's who they are. First week of high school football for the Buffs. Start the action in the first quarter. Stanton, nice catch on the sideline over there, trying to move the ball, but that drive would eventually stall out. So we're going to skip ahead to the second quarter. Hopefully get into a little bit more action. Score tied at 0-0 still in the second. Got the band over there in the end zone. I think that's an interesting way they're trying to social distance. Buffs with the ball. They're going to punch it in for the touchdown, convert the 2-point conversion, so that would make it 8-0. Stanton up in the first half. Not a lot of scoring, however. Taking a look at this final, and that would be it.
There you saw everything, folks.
So that was all the action in the second quarter. Stanton gets the shutout win over Grape Creek, 8-0.
All right, another Thursday night game, the Howard County Bowl. Highlights on yourbasin.com. Kahoma, Forsan, 29-yard field goal attempt in the closing seconds. It comes up unsuccessful, so the Bulldogs hold on for the win, 15-13, fourth straight over Forsan.
And we've got some more scores here for you. Compass Academy Cougars visiting New Homes. And that's their first win, or their first game, I mean.
Yes,
ever,
for
right?
Odessa Compass Academy as a varsity program. First game in the books. Come up short tonight, 51-0, but certainly an exciting time anytime you see a new team out there. All right, Reagan County, they were hosting the Merkel Badgers. Owls, they got a brand new, if you haven't seen it, the stadium, a lot of renovations, looks really nice. They come up short here, 46-14 tonight, but Owls, very young team.
Now, another team that did really well last year in the postseason was the Wink Wildcats, and they enter the 2020 season with a number 6 ranking in Class 2A Division II.
Taking on Cristobal, ranked number 13.
Yes, so an exciting game to start off the season for the Wildcats. This one was at home in Wink. 10-4 season for them last year. First highlight of the game, special teams. Look at that punt down inside the 1-yard line. So Wildcats take over. From the end zone, Cannon Gibson throws an interception to Cristobal's Braden Wilcox. Now this touchdown doesn't actually count.
They got a penalty on this play, I believe.
So the Wildcats, but the Cougars would eventually punch it in after that. Then down 7 at this point. Mason Morgan, though, with the big run right up the middle for the Wildcats. That would set up a touchdown for himself. This would tie the game at 7, so we've got a close matchup to start this one off. And taking a look at the final, Wildcats able to pull it out. They win 36-21 over number 13 Cristobal. So nice start to those number 6 Wildcats.
All right, this is a nice result. Buena Vista Moving up to Division I, they snap an 8-game losing streak against Loop, a playoff team, I believe, from last year. 44-24, Longhorns on the board in the Battle of the Longhorns.
Yes. All right, we've got some more scores for you here. Roscoe Highland visiting Grady. Wildcats are really excited about this season, but they come up short in their first game of the year, 54-6. A loss for the Wildcats.
We talked about Odessa Compass Academy. How about Midland TLCA, another first-year varsity program? And the 6-man ranks, they were taking on Lorraine. I believe that was a playoff team from last year as well. 52-7, the Eagles come up short, but again, excited to see what's in store there for that program.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these scores look similar for those first-year teams, but here's another team that struggled a little bit last year, and a really close loss for the Mustangs. 45-46 against Roby. That would have snapped a 15-game losing streak.
Mark my words.
So close.
Mustangs will be one of the better teams this season, most improved, I should say. In the season. All right, Klondike and McLean. Now, originally Klondike was going to play Sanderson. Sanderson is not playing their first 2 games. Had some students come in close contact, so they're self-isolating for 14 days. Anyway, so the Cougars rescheduled. They picked up, McLean, the reigning state finalists, and they get the 52-6 win over the number 9 team in Division I for 1A. Klondike, you heard it here first.
You can't see me right now, but my jaw's dropped at the score.
Big time result for the Cougars right there.
Right on. All right. Grand Falls Royalty visiting Marfa. Cowboys get the win in this one, 20-12, but it is a close one considering how well the Cowboys did the last few seasons. Got some news from that game.
Keep your thoughts out. Grand Falls Royalty, we're told this game was stopped in the 4th quarter due to a player neck injury for Grand Falls Royalty. Some precautionary measures. We don't know the extent of it, but we certainly wish him the speedy recovery and hope all is well with the Cowboys.
Yeah, of course. So sad to hear. More scores for you here. Permian Basin Co-op
They were taking on Fort Davis. We're not sure we have that one, but we're going to give it to you as soon as we can.
Yes. All right. Tons of great plays tonight. Which one will take home the top honor? Play of the week is coming up after the break.
And also, we'll crank up the decibels a bit. Band of the Week performance on the way as well. Stay with us.
You're watching The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Well, we're just past the halfway point on the show, and Aaron, we've seen some great football, but you know what? We've also heard some nice tunes there in the stands, and good to see them in the stands this year.
Yes. Actually, I've seen a lot of them in the end zone as well.
Yep, you never know.
Distancing, 2020.
Never know.
Friday nights in West Texas wouldn't be the same without them, though, so we're so happy they're playing. And with that, we will bring you our Band of the Week, the Pride of Pecos.
All right, thanks again. That was the Pride Drive of Big Spring. Nicely done, our mistake. But you know what? They did well. Big win for Big Spring, but the show has concluded. So now we got to get back to the field, Aaron, and we've got some pretty big plays to get to.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be the biggest play of the night.
Yes, our play of the week. Yes. We'll take a look at it right here. See what we got. All right, we're going back out to Big Spring. Turns out this was the play. Baeza to Keegan Mitchell, the touchdown, and just as our digital producer Jake Meyer liked to say, he just got mossed. Keegan Mitchell going over the top, and nicely done, brings in the touchdown, the first touchdown of the game for the Steers, and like I said, they get their first opening win since 2014.
Yeah.
Nicely done for Big Spring. All right, our last commercial break is coming up, but when we come back, we'll give you our final thoughts. A lot of big action from around the basin. Stay with us. Best show in the basin is coming right back.
You're watching The Final Score, brought to you by these sponsors.
Well, it was a long wait for high school football, but Aaron, I think it was well worth it. Excited to see the kids back on the field and excited to see what they've been doing.
Yeah, a lot of those athletes not able to play this past spring, of course, making most of it their chance this fall. So we're going to circle back to our game of the week, Rankin visiting Balmorhea.
Yeah, wow. What a result. Oh, my goodness. Red Devils and Bears, oh, my. The Bears started off with a big lead. Rankin comes all the way back. Big defensive stop in the last play. Jake Eichstead has some final thoughts on that one.
Ben, Aaron, welcome back to Balmorhea tonight. I cannot emphasize enough how exciting this game was. You really could tell the rust, though, from both teams really early. I could only imagine trying to get in football shape during these pandemic restrictions. Rankin really fell behind early, and you could tell with the absence of who I will say was their best player returning from last year, Deshaun Goodley, not on the sidelines for them tonight, not even in uniform. You could tell early they were missing his spark on offense, got very little going. Turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, allowing big plays from Balmorhea. I know he plays defense as well. You could really just tell both these teams were gassed, but again, I do not want to diminish the defensive efforts from both of these teams tonight. Braxton Kirkland on one side of the line for Rankin, Matthew Gonzalez on the other side. Both those kids going both ways, but it seems like all of them, once they started clicking, this is the Rankin Red Devils defense, really stifled that Balmorhea Bear run attack. Now, Braxton Kirkland to me was the player of the game for Rankin. Probably took only 3 plays off, like Coach Avalos said. Players were asking him the entire time, do you need water, you want a break? He said no. You could tell that eggshell white jersey was a little bit darker than every other player for Rankin tonight. Now, both these run lanes were really clogged again by both of those defensive ends for Rankin, and I can't emphasize enough how much resilience that they showed, being down so much so early and then scoring 26 unanswered points once that second half started. Now, we got a long drive back to Odessa, Ben and Aaron, but thank you very much for sending me down here for the first game of the week. It absolutely was worth it. Reporting in Balmorhea, Jake Eichstead.
It's our pleasure.
Jake, you're welcome.
By the way, that was a fantastic game and really impressive to see Rankin be able to pull that off. Aaron, but curious to see what struck your eye.
Yeah, so it's always easier for me to, I guess, observe games that I actually went to go cover, and tonight my game was Alpine visiting Fort Stockton. Now, I had initially gone into this game thinking that Alpine was going to get the win, and if you watch Final Score Overtime, you would have known that. And while the Fightin' Bucks were the first to score, and they looked strong offensively here in the first half, something must have switched for Fort Stockton there in the second. And you know what? I think you always expect the run game from Fort Stockton, but they looked really good passing the ball tonight.
Yeah.
So, surprising and good win for the Panthers. Ben, what are your final thoughts from this evening?
Again, I said it before, and I think Dave Campbell said this, so I want to give credit where credit's due, this verbiage. If you want to buy stock on a team while their value is low, get in on the Klondike Cougars while you still can. This team is going down to Division II. They're number, I believe, 15 there, 15 there, I should say. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Big 45 win over the defending state finalists. That's going to do it for week 1 of the Final Score. For Ben Peck, I'm Aaron Reynolds. We'll see you here next. We'll see you next week.